thing I want to do is talk a little bit about a graph. So here is the graph of a quadratic. We know a quadratic is just a parabola. If I ask you to find the x-intercepts on this graph, what am I looking for?
Well, the x-axis.
So what are they?
-1 and 3.
If I asked for ordered pairs, could you do it?
Yeah, -1, 0.
What is the y-intercept?
0, -6.
Okay, y-intercept is where you hit the y-axis, so you could tell me -6, or if I asked for an ordered pair, it'd be 0, -6.
Oh my god.
Senior class.
Okay.
Hey!
Thank
That was 2 $100 bills. That gotta be out of the
That was Osvaldo.
Knew
He was
it.
handing
Oh my
it to us.
gosh. I love him. That's not bad. That's 4. We're getting somewhere. That's a lot of things.
That got us.
We need like 3 more Osvaldos.
I think that put the seniors in the lead.
Most
Yeah,
likely.
that's 400 cans right there.
And we only needed
What are the zeros?
Yeah, this is the x-intercept.
Same thing as the x-intercept. So
-1
-1,
and 3.
+3. What is the vertex?
-8 one.
Where's the 8 minutes? Yeah, 3
Or
minutes.
-1/8.
Dude.
Or +1, -8. There
Thank
we go.
Vertex is an ordered pair.
No, you fucking freaking rules. If you fixing these 8 minutes away, you back and forth.
All right.
Oh, God, you're
So are we okay with picking out all those pieces from a graph?
Yep.
Let's say I asked you to solve this equation. So after we looked at the graph, we talked about solving equations, and we have lots of different options. What would we do here? Okay. Everything is divisible by 2, so easiest option, you could take out a 2, or since it's an equation, we could just divide each side by 2. So that gives me x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So then what would we do?
Easy
Okay, multiply -3 and add to -2 would be a -3 and a +1. Then we set those equal to 0. So we get +3 and -1. All right. Let's do another equation.
I feel like there's more of this.
I mean, you can write a solution set if you want.
I just feel like there's something you're not telling us.
No secrets.
Well, like we started it with that, so I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have to.
You want us to foil
We
first?
foil first.
So we have 2 options for solving this. First one is to multiply everything out and set it equal to 0. What's our other option?
Distribute the
I couldn't distribute.
Or divide
Oh,
the
square root.
4 and then square root.
Yeah.
Caitlin
so
did say it.
that would probably be an easier method. So if I divide by my -4. And then we square root. Anytime we add a square root, we need a plus and a minus with that. So we get x minus 1 equals plus or minus. How would we break apart 12?
4 and 3.
So 2 radical 3. And then what would we do?
And add the 1.
So I get 1 plus or minus 2
Remember
radical.
Friday?
Yep.
Friday.
Yep.
Long ass. It's Friday.
So that one, we used the square root method. And that was the easiest option, just get the x by itself and solve. Let's say I asked you to complete the square for one.
Doesn't A?
Yes, in order to complete the square, it has to be a 1x squared. So what we have to do first is divide everything by 2.
We bring our minus.
So yeah, x squared minus 3x plus 9 over 2 equals 0. So remember, in completing the square, we need all the x's on one side and we need the constant on the other. So we're going to bring over that negative 9. So then what do we do?
Divide from square B.
Half of b squared. So b is negative 3. Divide that by 2 and square it. Can't do negative 3 over 2, but square negative 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4. So we are going to add 9 over 4 to each side. Okay, we made a perfect square, so this should factor into something squared. How do I know what that something is?
Your first number when you divided it by 2.
Right, that number before we squared it, after we divided by 2, we had negative 3 over 2. So this is x minus 3 over 2 squared. Negative 9 over 2 plus 9 over 4.
18 over 4 is 1 half. Negative.
Would be negative, because that'd be like negative 18 over 4 plus 9 over 4, so negative 9 over 4.
I don't know why I thought it was 1
How do you think you get 14?
You said 8.
half. I said 18.
Oh, I thought she said 18 over 14.
I probably did. I don't know.
She did.
All right, how do we get rid of the square?
Square root.
And with that, we do plus and minus. So we get x minus 3 halves equals plus and minus. The square root of negative 9
3 halves,
is 3i over 2. And then final step,
Add over the 3 half.
so we get 3 halves plus and minus 3i over 2, or 3 halves I. Okay, so that one we did completing the square because I told you to, but in general, we know we can do completing the square anytime, especially when things don't factor nicely. So then the next option for things that don't factor nicely, what else always works? Quadratic formula. Why don't you guys do that one? You don't need me to walk through it. You can try it on your own.
Got that down.
All right, what do you have to do first on this one?
Get the 8 on the same side.
Get the 8 over 2.
Does it matter which side you take everything to?
No.
Everything go down one side, so I'll show you.
Huh? So x equals opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So we get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 80 over negative 6. So 80, since it has a negative, you have to take out an I. 80 can break into 16 and 5, so it'd be 4i radical 5 over the negative 6. We have to break it apart, so negative 4 over negative 6 is positive 2/3. Plus or minus 4 over negative 6 is negative 2/3. So that would be our final answer.
Does it matter where I
You
put
okay?
those? I just put it in the denominator.
Yeah, top, bottom, it doesn't matter. Questions on that one? Then yesterday, what did we do?
Quadratic formula.
Yeah, we looked at inequalities yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's the word
So let's do a few inequalities. All right, we know that when we find out when it equals 0, that's the same thing as finding an x-intercept. If we're going to solve the inequalities, we still have to have those x-intercepts. So if I looked at this first one, we could factor that. What multiplies to 8 and adds to 6?
X plus 4, X plus 2.
So if we set each of them equal to 0, we get x to equal
-4, X equals
Alright, so that means if you were to look at a graph, it hits the x-axis at -4 and -2. This was a positive x squared, so we know it opens up. For my answer, I wanted less than 0. Less than is below the x-axis. So what would my answer be? Parentheses, why?
Because it's not greater than or equal to.
Okay, there's no equal to, so they get parentheses.
On the test, do you want us to put a little graph, or do we have to?
I would like it just so I know what you're basing your answer off of. It can be a pretty rough sketch, it doesn't have to be real exact. B, I had the same equation, but this time I was asking for greater than or equal to 0. So greater than is above, equal to includes those points. So what would my answer be for part B?
Negative infinity to -4, -2.
And we have brackets on the -4 and -2 because of the equal to.
So we won't have to graph them, right? Oh, yeah, we will.
I just
not-
want a rough sketch. It doesn't have to be, like, you don't have to find vertex and y-intercept and all that, just enough to get your answer. Okay, I want you guys to do this problem. So it's the same quadratic 3 times, I'm just asking 3 different things. One of them I want less than, one I want greater than, and one I want to be equal to. So if you solve it once, you should be able to look at that graph and answer all 3 parts.
What's a -10?
You have to.
Bring over the 10. Thank you. And then you can do your slip and slide. What multiplies to 30 and adds to 13? Then we have to remember to divide the 3. So we get a -10/3 and -1. So if you draw your graph. And it was a positive x squared, so it opened up. So part A wants to know when this is less than 0. So that would be in between them. It's a -10/3 to -1. Part B would be asking when this is greater than 0.
Negative would be -2/3, parentheses, negative, union, -1 to infinity.
Part C is asking when it equals 0. What's the equal mean?
Where it gets to that.
Yeah, the equal to, we already solved. It's just the x-intercepts or the zeros, the solutions. So that's the -10/3 and the -1.
Yeah, you have to switch to equal to the way
Yeah, I'm good. All right. Is that okay with everybody? All right. So what I'm going to do, one last problem. This is one that we haven't done something exactly like it recently, but we have done some before. So we have an object is propelled directly upward from the ground with an initial velocity of 64 feet per second. And I'm telling you the height after t seconds is, or after x seconds is given by this equation. So here is the height equation. After how many seconds does it reach a height of 28 feet?
We just put 28 at the end of the fucking.
28 in x, right?
You.
Is the 28?
What? Just said.
I didn't hear.
28 isn't x. X is
ABC,
the height.
ABC.
That's the Y.
It's the H.
Well, yeah, but then you subtract it over and then you factor.
I like-
Available by forward.
Okay, so if we put everything on one side, it doesn't matter which side you take it to. We have a greatest common factor, so I'm going to divide everything by -4 on
Oh,
both
yeah, that's
sides.
smart. Oh my gosh. How did they figure that out? Yeah.
Flip inside, so we get Alright, multiply to -16, add to positive, or sorry, multiply to positive 28, add to -16.
Negative 4, negative 14. Negative 14, negative 2. I don't know why I said 4.
But then we have to divide by 4. 14 over 4 reduces to 7 over 2, so that's 2x minus 7. 2 over 4 is 1/2, so 2x minus 1. Set those to 0, we get 7/2 and 1/2. Only difference, if it's a word problem, then I would like for you to answer with a sentence. The question was, after how many seconds does it hit a height of 28 feet? Why would I get 2 answers?
Because that's where it starts at and where it ends at.
If you think about, if you take something and you throw it up, it's going to come back down, right? So we hit that height of 28 on the way up and on the way back down.
Yeah, you should choose a small. Looks like maybe this one. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, if you do a bouncy ball.
You could hit it more than 2 times.
I think it's
So after 1/2 seconds, and again after 7/2 seconds, or after 1/2, 0.5 and 3.5 seconds, if you want to do that. All right, any questions there? So here is the plan. I
No homework.
want to do a quiz over this stuff, which we'll put it on Monday. I know Monday quizzes are not ideal, so I will do a little review with you beforehand. But the homework that I'm giving you is very similar to the format of your quiz. So the front page of the quiz is all going to be just solve the quadratic equations. However, whether you factor, square root, quadratic formula, whatever. I'm going to ask a couple discriminant questions and some inequalities. And you've got all of that stuff on the handout that is posted on Classroom. So that handout is a very good review for what we'll see on Monday.
Oh, is the handout or homework?
Yes, the handout is your homework.